An important question to ask when you are thinking about composition is, where do you want the viewer's eye to go? Like, where do you want the viewer's eye to go? What do you want them to look at when they first see your shot? So for me, like, the grass looks busy. This light over here, the highlight, is busy. So for me, I want the peacock to really stand out. But I do like the little bit of highlights here, the lighting here, and then it darkens out here in the background. It's just, this is kind of throwing me off, and then you kind of get lost a little bit on this line where the feathers stop and the grass begins. So I really wanted to separate these things out. And then I knew that I liked the lighting here, but not the color on the rocks. And so when I edited, I just ended up, let's see here, changing everything in the background to black and white, foreground, same thing, black and white, just leaving a peacock in color. And so now this highlight over here doesn't bother me as much. I kicked up the lighting here and here just a little bit, but to varying degrees, right? So the lighting here is brighter than the lighting here, just because this is in the foreground. If you make this in the foreground too bright, it's going to pull the viewer's eye down to the rock instead of on the peacock. But if you make the lighting more intense here, it's still on the same plane as where the peacock is. And so it doesn't really pull the viewer's eye away from the subject. It's kind of on that same line. So same thing with the highlight here. So everything on this line is basically where I want the viewer to look. Everything else, like in the background, everything's darker. In the foreground, like I said, I did brighten it up a little bit, but not to the point where it's gonna pull the viewer's eye down, right, at least right away. Like, eventually, your eyes are gonna work your way to this point here, second, but I want your eye to go here first, then second, and then the background is third. So just look at how you want the viewer's eye to go through the photograph when you're editing and when you're lighting. So like I said, I don't do like a blanket brightness in terms of highlights. I light everything in varying degrees depending on where I want the viewer's eye to go. First, second, third. And then that just helps shape the composition overall as well, because you do want background, middle ground, foreground. You want everything separated, right? And it just makes the photograph more interesting. Originally, foreground, middle ground is kind of blending together. The background is still pretty good at this point, but just to make everything just clearly separated, this is why I edited this like I did. So, and then the color on the peacock, leaving the color in on the peacock, also helps make it stand out as the subject, like the main subject of the photograph.